Welcome to the Empowered with Erika podcast. My name is Erika Vishkalis, and I'm an empowerment coach, mindset mentor, personal development enthusiast, and holistic health advocate. I've spent the last several years healing my mind, body, and soul, and have learned so much along the way. From healing trauma to navigating a sober lifestyle and learning how to step into my personal power, it has been transformational. If you are looking to heal, to be inspired, to uplevel your life, and become the most empowered version of yourself, you've come to the right place. I created this podcast to help you know you are worthy of rewriting your story and to help you navigate your own empowerment journey. You are worthy of living your most authentic, aligned, and inspired life, and I can help you get there. Whether you are diving deep into personal development or just need a weekly pick-me-up, I've got you covered. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I cannot wait to transform together. Let's get empowered. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Empowered with Erika. Your host, Erika here, and I'm so excited for this episode. This is our 50th episode, guys, and I am stoked. I cannot believe that we are already 50 episodes into Empowered with Erika, which means we are just around the corner from a year, which is just crazy to me. Like, I cannot believe it, and that's just incredible. Like, that's amazing to me. So, this week, since it was Valentine's Day, 2 days ago at the time of release, it is all about love. We are going to talk about love, and mostly we're going to talk about self-love because I'm one of those corny people that really thinks that you have to learn to love yourself first before other things go better in your life. Like, truly believe that. And that doesn't mean you can't have a relationship without self-love, but I mean, if you want a deep love, you first have to love yourself, in my opinion. And Kyle and I are scheduling a time for him to come on the podcast, and we are going to do a relationship episode very soon, probably within 2 or 3 weeks. So coming up quick, he's going to be on the podcast, and I'm so excited for that. We have a lot that we want to say. You think I'm opinionated? Buckle in. This man is opinionated. And I just want to, again, I say this every week, but I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world to me. We are growing, we are expanding. Continue to share the show with your friends, with loved ones on social media. If it resonates with you, please share it because I just want this community to keep growing, the messages to keep getting out there for people. And you never know when someone may need to hear one of the messages. So today we are talking all about self-love and love and all that good stuff. So it was just Valentine's Day, right? And I don't know, how do you feel about Valentine's Day? I personally love it. Even when I haven't been in a relationship, I've loved Valentine's Day. It's just a fun day. And I love the concept of Galentines. So I just think it's really important to show yourself and the people you care about that you love them. You know, it's not about presents or fancy things or fancy meals. It's just literally about being intentional with your loved ones, in my opinion. That's why I love Valentine's Day. But I wanted to first talk about self-love because I really believe that self-love and learning to love yourself is a key happiness principle in life. And I know that may sound a little weird, like, well, what do you mean, Erika? I can be happy without loving myself. But I think it's really important, and there's a couple reasons behind that. And I think that self-love is often talked about in a way that is glamorized and that is like, oh, it's just bubble baths and massages and this and that and this and that. When a lot of times, self-love can be hard fucking work. It's not always easy to love yourself. And so I'm actually reading this really good book. I'm going to do a whole podcast on it at some point, probably sooner rather than later, just because I'm going to probably finish the book in the next week or two. And it's called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, and I'm obsessed with her. I love her. She was a key start of my journey in personal development, and for whatever reason, I just haven't read this book yet. I've actually tried a couple times, and I could never get through it. But a big part of the book, if you don't know her, she's a researcher for shame and vulnerability, and I believe she's a sociologist by trade, and she talks about, honestly, very difficult topics. And one thing that she's talking a lot about in this book is shame, right? And shame is a hard topic. And why I'm bringing it up is because I think people having shame and thinking poorly of themselves is one of the biggest barriers between them and fully loving themselves. And I want to say this because who doesn't have a past? Who hasn't made mistakes? I've made mistakes in my life. I'm not who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, it's winter carnival right now at the time of this recording. And if you went to Michigan Tech, or if you're from that area, you know what that means. It's like where we take a couple of days off and we like celebrate like the winter, and we build month-long snow statues that are finally done. And it's just like a really good time. It's basically like a 3-day long party. It's kind of intense. And Winter Carnival was just like, I think it's going on right now. So it just started Wednesday. It's the weekend when I'm recording this, but anywho, so by the time this comes out, it was like this past week. And it made me think about like my college memories, and I am not at all who I was then. And I mean, I would hope not, because at that time it was like, what, 10 years ago? I mean, I didn't graduate college 10 years ago, but 10 years ago I was in college, right? And I am such a different person now than I was then. And obviously, like, I would fucking hope so. I would hope over the course of 10 years that you would grow. But that being said, I think a lot of times people hold on to shame and guilt and resentment or whatever towards themselves for maybe how they've been in the past. Like, Erika now would not behave how Erika back then did. And I mean, like, I was young and dumb. Like, who wasn't young and dumb? I think most people were. And there's a lot of like good memories, right? But I wish I loved myself more during that period of time, right? I definitely did not have the self confidence I have now. I did not think that highly of myself. And I think because I hadn't worked through a lot of the stuff, the icky stuff, the trauma and the shame and everything that comes with all that good stuff, I haven't worked through a lot of it by that point. And so I wasn't at my best self, and I didn't love myself. And learning how to love yourself is so incredibly important in so many ways, because it starts with how you treat yourself. Like, if you love yourself, you're going to treat yourself better, typically. And I find that a lot of people, I don't want to say make mistakes, but a lot of people will do things coming from a place of no self love, and then they don't value themselves and they don't prioritize themselves. And it's really important to put yourself first. And that's not selfish. Like, self love is not selfish. We need to get that through our brains. And again, self love isn't just candy and chocolates and bubble baths and whatever, like treating yourself. Now, of course, I do think showing yourself and treating yourself well is a form of self love, but that's not all it is. Self love is learning how to love the good, bad, and the ugly of you at your core. Because we all have these parts of ourselves that maybe we don't love, maybe that we're a little hard on, but that doesn't mean, like, just because you're hard on yourself doesn't mean that you don't actually love yourself, or it doesn't have to mean that, is what I should say. And this is something I've struggled with. Like, if I'm being very honest with you guys, self love is something I have struggled with, because for years and years and years, I have told myself this story of, you're not worthy of love. You aren't lovable. You aren't good enough. You are this, that, and the other fucking thing. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I touched about this on a recent episode. There's a lot of reasons for that, because of stories I'd heard throughout my life growing up, for various things that happened that my young child brain, my inner child, or just child at the time brain took as, well, I'm not lovable because of XYZ thing, right? But that's not necessarily true. Okay. And learning to love yourself is also forgiveness. Learning to forgive yourself for maybe mistakes you'd made, or things you've done, or whatever, or even just like forgiving yourself for how the unhealed version of you handled life. Because, like I said, I would not do life the same way I did 10 years ago now, right? I'm such a different person then. Even if I had like the same resources and a full time job and stuff, no, I wouldn't handle how I did like life how I did then now, because I'm a different person. Obviously, who isn't, right? But it's important to remember that growth is okay. And just because you've grown and you've changed and you're working on yourself, or just because maybe there's parts of your story you're not proud of, that doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. And shame is something that like kills the light inside of us. I truly believe that. And I am someone that really thinks that if we can learn to forgive ourselves and accept ourselves and love ourselves, that really the world is just at our fingertips. Like we can do so much more when we come from a state of love and self-love. And it is so incredibly important to love yourself first, like I've just said not that long ago, because, and this is like a hard topic to talk about because it's like, okay, Erika, well, I get it, but like how? How do I learn to love myself? Even the things that maybe I don't find very lovable. Maybe I don't know, maybe you have a temper, or maybe you don't treat your body that well. Or again, maybe you're like in a situation that is harming yourself and you don't know how to get out of it. So you just kind of stay there. Or maybe you're just like truly not living your fullest potential. Okay. When you love yourself, I feel like you treat yourself better and you put yourself in positions that are better for you, because it's all an act of self-love, because you believe that you are worthy of it. And I think that is the key, is one, learning how to forgive yourself, learning how to make peace with the parts of yourself that maybe you don't quote love, that you're like, oof, that's not an awesome side of me, because we're not perfect. No one here is perfect. Okay. Like I'm not perfect. I'm assuming you're not perfect. No one is fucking perfect. But that doesn't mean that we're not worthy of love, right? Just like, children aren't perfect, they're kids, but they still deserve love, right? People who have made big mistakes, yes, they need to reconcile for them. They need to learn from them. They need to grow from them, but that doesn't mean that they're not worthy of love, in my opinion. Okay. And like I said, it's really important to learn how to make peace with your past so that you can learn to love the present and love yourself even more in the future and just grow in that self love every single day. And you're probably like, okay, Erika, you're talking in circles. How do I actually apply this? What does this mean? So, this is how I've applied it. I'm just going to share a couple things that have helped me. So, first is putting a big emphasis on self care. Okay. And self care, like I was saying, isn't always just like the glamorous things that you see on social media. A lot of times it's the hard work. For me, the self care is going to therapy regularly, going to ACOA meetings regularly, but it's also eating food that makes me feel good. And not just like makes me feel good in the sense of emotionally eating, because I've been that person. I kind of struggle with like emotional eating where, oh, happy, sad, whatever, like I need the donut. That's how I struggle with food, right? And so I've had to learn that when I fuel my body properly and you eat a lot of good whole foods, and for me, and this isn't my recommendation for everyone because everyone's body is different, but for me, eating in like an autoimmune protocol, anti-inflammatory way makes me feel my best. Okay. And so that's one form of self-love, is I am choosing to love myself and love my body by fueling it in a way that makes me feel good, right? Versus doesn't make me feel good, versus makes me feel sluggish or bloated or whatever, digestive issues, whatever, right? Another way I love myself is, again, by taking care of my body via exercise. And this is something I've been doing a lot lately, and I know I've talked about it on the podcast a little bit already, but is choosing exercise that I actually enjoy, not punishing myself with exercise, not being like, okay, Erika, like you need to get to the gym because you need to be in this size, or you need to weigh this much, or what the fuck ever. You need to look good in the shorts. Like, yes, I want to look good in the shorts, but I also want to enjoy the workouts that I'm doing, and I want to be confident in my body and in myself and in my being and in my presence. So, for me, that daily movement, that daily exercise is a form of self love, because it's showing myself that I care enough about myself. I care enough about my physical being to take care of it, to make sure it's healthy. And it's not just to fit into the fucking shorts, it's to take care of my heart, to take care of my lungs, to take care of like my physiology, take care of my cholesterol, like all that stuff. Take care of my physical being, right? As well as taking care of your brain, taking care of like the spiritual mental side. So, as I said, therapy. For me, meditation. Okay. That is a big, big, big thing, is meditation. And something I'm working on is affirmations. I'm not very good at them, and more like changing my mindset. So, I actually just downloaded this app. I will report back how I like it. I'm doing the week-long free trial because it's not cheap, but I don't know. I think it could be really good for me personally. It's called the Superhuman app. It's by Mimi Bouchard. I love her podcast. It's so good. It's so interesting. But it's basically meditations to help you through your daily life. But like instead of just being like sitting in a dark like room or whatever, or laying down or sitting still, like she has meditations that are while walking. Like I listened to a walking meditation while walking my dogs this morning. She has one for when you're running errands. She has one for when you're getting ready. She has hundreds on this app. And actually, that's why I wanted to get it, because I'm so bad at affirmations. Like, even though you see this like confident version of Erika who's like, I don't take no shit, I'm a bad bitch, woo, I'm still bad at affirmations. I'm bad at telling myself those things. And one thing I'm really working on right now is even my self talk, right? Like, I probably shouldn't even say I'm bad at it. It's more like I'm working on it. This is an area of improvement, right? And so I got this app because I want to start listening to some of these meditations while I'm working, or while I'm getting ready in the morning, or while I'm winding down for bed, just to help prime my mind. Because, like, and especially working from home, and like I do have to take some phone calls, but I'm not on the phone all day. I thought it'd be a good way to help like help my subconscious brain, right? So, learning to love yourself, self-care, it can be the hard work, it can be the fun work, it can be the fun things, it can be the fun ways that you show yourself that you love yourself, but it also is a lot of every single day taking action to show yourself that you are a priority. So I talk about it all the time. You know what I'm going to say, probably. It's why I loved the 75 hard, why I love the 75 hard. Because every single day I showed up for myself, and I told myself, and I proved to myself, and I committed to myself that I can do this hard thing. Even when it's inconvenient, even when it's annoying, I love myself enough to show up. I love myself enough to show up. My friend and I were on this health journey together. It's really been fun. It's great having like an accountability buddy. And we were talking about this today. We were talking about the concept of I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to show up for myself, to prove to myself that I'm worthy and I'm deserving of it. And because I want to make a change, and I got to do it for myself, right? And that's where the self-love piece comes in. Now, again, it can be the small little things. Like I just got my nails done. If you are on YouTube, you can see they're like a pretty like Barbie pink, right? I love getting my nails done. I love it. I go twice a month. I've put it in my budget. And some people would be like, oh, Erika, you're bougie. You're high maintenance. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Here's why. Because it makes me feel put together. It makes me feel confident. And it makes me like just feel good about myself. I just feel prettier and happier and more put together when I have my nails done. And it may not make sense to you, but why do you get your lashes done? Why do you get your brows done? Why do you do your fake tan? Like, I don't do other things. This is what I do. And even if I did all of it, who gives a fuck? If that's how you show self-love to yourself, great. But again, and I'm going to tie this in for a second, you also want to make sure that you're being responsible, right? Like, and I know that some people in like the manifestation world would say, oh, that's a limited mindset. I'm like, is it limited, or is it just being smart? Because I truly believe that the world is my oyster, that I can manifest money because I have manifested money. I believe I can manifest a great career. I think I can manifest anything that I fucking want to manifest. Okay. But I also think it's smart to be financially responsible, right? So, like I said, I budget to get my nails done. I love getting my nails done. I put it in my fucking budget. Line item, X amount every 2 weeks or whatever, every 3 weeks, however long it is. And if you are someone who maybe is like struggling in the financial world, maybe that's a way that you show yourself self-love, is by creating a budget, by getting a financial advisor, by, I don't know, getting an app that helps you to track your finances. All those things, like that is another form of self-love, because it's also not self-love like putting yourself in debt. It's also not self-love stressing yourself out about money because you aren't being financially responsible with it, and that you're not setting yourself up well, right? So it's so important to find these different ways to show yourself self-love. Like, and I truly think every single day, how can you show up for yourself every single day as an act of self-love? How? For me, it was getting ready today. I like getting ready in the morning. Even though not every day, I don't put on like a full face of makeup every day, but almost every single day, well, one, I every day, I change out of my pajamas and I put on clothes, obviously, right? But like, I mean, not pajama clothes. Like, I put on something for work. And even though I work from home, I don't like get fancy by any means because I want to be comfortable. I walk at my like under the desk treadmill. Like, I want to be comfortable, but I also don't want to be in just sweatpants. So I got these pair of like basically flare yoga pants. Like, we used to call them yoga pants, flared leggings, whatever, but they look a little bit nicer, a little bit more elevated than normal just leggings. I don't know why. Like, and maybe I'm just like telling myself a lie, but they feel more elevated, right? So I wear those, and then I wear like a cute shirt or a sweater or like just a sweatshirt. But again, like, it's the thought that I intentionally chose this outfit for today, right? And then I pretty much always do something with my hair because I like to have my hair like done. Even if it's just pulling it back, I try to pull it back in a way that like makes me feel cute and confident, right? And then I always put on a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. And again, some people would be like, well, you're just covering yourself up with makeup. One, that is so fucking minimal. It's not even funny. But two, it makes me feel good about myself. And it makes me feel like I have given myself some time and attention. And that's the key. It's not about the makeup. It's not about the lashes or the nails or the fake tan or the outfit. It's about how are you showing yourself that you are here to take care of yourself, right? How are you doing that today? Because some people are super into fashion, and that's a great form of self-love. If you are very into clothes and you want to make sure that you have a put together outfit every day, do it. If it's going to the gym every day because you want big muscles, do it. If it's sticking to your healthy eating plan because that's what makes your body feel good and energized, do it. If it's getting 9 hours of sleep, do it. Okay. So there are things you can physically do to show yourself love every single day. But now we also need to talk about what are we not doing, aka boundaries. Are we setting boundaries? I think boundaries are a love language. I'm going to be honest. And I've talked about it before. Boundaries are one of my love languages. I love a good fucking boundary. Why? Because again, it's putting yourself first. It's knowing your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, and protecting your energy, protecting your vibration. I think that is so incredibly important. So, for example, I've mentioned it before, and actually that's why I got like kind of dressed up today was I went to my part-time job at a spa. And I do it literally like 3 times a month. Like, I don't go often, but I love the perks. I love working there. The people are so nice. It gets me out of the house. Like, whatever. It's not really for the money. It's more just to get out of the house, and I get a free membership out of it. So why the fuck not, right? And so someone asked me to cover a shift for them. And I turned it down because I was already for later in the month because I was already working the Saturday and Sunday of that weekend there because I kind of like to put more of my shifts into a consolidated time period so that I'm not like giving up every weekend, right? So I usually like work one full weekend and then one additional Saturday. And I was like, "Hey, like I would work that Friday night, but if I work that Friday night, then I literally don't have a weekend at all and I need some time to like get my shit done." You know, and I could have said yes, and part of me felt guilty saying no. Like part of me is like, "Oh, like she needs help. She wouldn't ask if she needed help." And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing my time. Like, I'm going to be here all fucking weekend that weekend. I need my Friday night to probably go grocery shopping and meal prepping. Like, I'm not even kidding, or cleaning around the house. Like, it's probably not even going to be like a fun night. I don't know. It's not till the end of the month, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I knew that if I was going to be a people pleaser, I would just say yes. But I knew I needed to set a boundary to make sure that like my mental health, my physical health were good. I needed to make sure I set time for myself. So I did, right? So where are you setting boundaries in your life? Or, for example, I've had to do this a lot, like last year was set boundaries with people and my relationships with people, set boundaries at work. I mean, again, I think that's one reason why I decided to leave athletic training is because people hate boundaries there. Like, I'm just going to fucking say it. They want you to work 24 fucking 7. They want you to be on call all the time. And I'm like, no, No, I'm not doing that. And so for me, getting a new job where I can have better boundaries and have a work life balance was a form of self love. And even Kyle says it all the time. I'm sure he'll bring it up in our relationship podcast, honestly, is me getting a new job has been so good for me and for us because I'm so much happier because I have set those boundaries. I'm like, at this time of day, I'm done and I'm done working. And I put down the phone. I now actually, for the first like 3 months of my job, I had nothing work related on my phone. I did just install like 2 apps on my phone for work just because I don't know, but like I don't have notifications set for them. So it's more like I have the access there if I need it, if I want it, but I don't need it on my phone, right? And that's because I'm allowed to enjoy my weekends. Like that is the type of job I got. Like I can enjoy my evenings, enjoy my weekends. It's totally fine. Like we're good, right? So, at the end of the day, self-love, in my opinion, a big part of it is just being your number one advocate. You need to advocate for yourself because no one else is going to. I mean, people might, but no one else is responsible for it. You are the only one that is responsible for your happiness, for your success, right? No one else is. And so self love is like tying this back into Valentine's Day and stuff. Like, if you want a good relationship with your family, with your friends, maybe a romantic relationship, you have to learn to love yourself. You have to, because it will help, it will translate into all these different areas of your life. You'll show up better at work. You'll show up better in your relationships with, again, friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships, whatever. Like you will show up better in almost, in my opinion, every area of your life when you start loving yourself. So, where, like, I would think about it, maybe get out a notebook and write down, where am I showing myself self-love throughout the week? Through every day. Am I doing one thing a day that shows myself that I love myself? So for me, it was getting dressed today, and honestly, like getting dressed up and like doing my hair, doing my makeup. Um Another thing I'm probably going to do today is a face mask because my skin kind of needs it. I feel like my skin needs it, so I'm going to do it, right? And there's so many little things we can do to show ourselves that we love ourselves, right? And even like if it's not therapy for you, like not, I don't want to say not everyone needs therapy because I kind of think everyone needs it. Like it's good to have like someone there to help you with your mental health. Even if you don't have like a serious thing going on, I think it's good to have. But regardless, like how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit? Are you going for the walk? Like after this podcast, it's really nice out today. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's about 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon. I'm going to go for an evening walk before I make dinner because I want to. I'm going to take my iced coffee. I'm going to go for a fucking walk because it's a beautiful day. I'm getting a workout in, getting a nice walk in. And that's like a form of self love for me. And I'm probably going to call a friend because that is one way that I show myself self love. I do things that feed my mind, feed my body, feed my soul. So, how are you doing that? Are you loving yourself? Are you allowing yourself to love yourself? Like, or are you someone that really struggles with not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough? I'd really tackle that. Think about, why do I have that feeling? Is it because maybe people told me I wasn't good enough? Or was it I only received attention and validation from my parents when I achieved or when I did things for them? Like, am I a people pleaser? Am I putting everyone else before myself? And don't get me wrong, there are times we need to do that. I'm not saying that you need to be like a self-absorbed person. Like you can care about others and give back to the community and care about those around you and love those around you. And sometimes like I do put Kyle's needs before my own. Sometimes I put my family's needs before my own. But at the end of the day, I'm always like checking in with myself and making sure that I'm taking care of myself, because if I'm not happy, if I'm like not doing well, it's going to affect my relationships with others and with those I love. So me making sure that I'm like on my shit with self love is actually an act of love towards everyone else that's in my life because it helps me to show up as the best version of myself. I don't know if this makes sense. I hope it wasn't too much like just rambling, because I think this topic can be hard to articulate. It can be hard to really get the point across without like sounding preachy or judgy, because we all have our shit. Like I still have my days, and again, this is why I recommend a therapy or some sort of mindset practice or both, right? Because I have gotten through so much, and I have been able to do that through talking to someone, and doing EMDR therapy has helped me a ton, but also like journaling and meditation has helped me so much with my mindset and self-love. So if you are like down on yourself this Valentine's Day, maybe your life isn't where you want it to be, maybe whether you are or are not in a relationship, maybe you just are lacking like love in your life, I would start with loving yourself. Because again, as you start to love yourself, you take better care of yourself, you show up as a better version of yourself in this world. But also I feel like it's kind of like a magnet, right? And hopefully I'm not fucking up this science right now, but I truly believe that when you embody like what you want, like it will come to you. That law of attraction, that like attracts like, concept of, well, I guess magnets are opposite, right? Like positive, negative. But you know what I mean? It's really, really important to embody the version of yourself that you want. I just realized that metaphor did not fucking work at all. So have you ever like started to say something and then mid saying it, you're like, I'm so fucking wrong right now. It's not even funny. That was me with the magnet. So ditch that. We're going to ignore the magnet. That was a bad example. But when you show up, the law of attraction, right? When you believe that you should have something, or the law of assumption, law of attraction, both. When you believe you should have something, when you embody the energy of love, I truly believe it attracts people that love you into your life. And it also, side note, also it sets the standard in your life. Like if you love yourself, you will not accept bullshit from people. I truly believe that when you love yourself, you will not accept less from others. I really think that a lot of times we accept less from others because we're coming from a place of maybe not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, maybe of shame. And like, it's not something that's easily identifiable, right? I'm not saying we do that purposely. Like I didn't accept less than what I deserved because I just fucking felt like it. Like, absolutely not. No, it's because that's what I thought I deserved. So when you start to show up for yourself and love yourself and show yourself how much you deserve love and goodness and happiness and joy, you will start to get more of that in your life, because at the end of the day, that will become your standard, right? That will become your standard. So I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I wanted to talk about love this week, but I think self-love is a great topic. And Kyle and I are going to dive into relationships in a couple weeks. I'm really excited for that episode because, like I said, you think I'm opinionated? So is he. We're both a little feisty, and we both like to talk. So I think it'll make for a really fun and interesting episode. I also think it's just good to get someone else's opinion, but like the male female dynamic. It's interesting to hear like a guy's perspective, in my opinion. I mean, every man like thinks differently, right? Like we're all different, but I think it's really cool to hear that perspective too. So I wanted to bring him on. I'm excited for that. It'll be a lot of fun. But I hope you guys had a great week. I cannot believe that we're almost like halfway through February already. That's just fucking crazy to me. Like where is the time going? But I hope that you guys have a great week. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Do one thing this week, this weekend, that shows yourself how much you love yourself. Make some time for yourself today. Make some time for yourself this weekend. Do the damn thing. Show up for yourself and show yourself that you are a priority and that you matter, because you do matter. You are lovable. You are worthy. I 120% believe that in my soul. So don't forget that and show up for yourself this week. All right. I can't wait to talk to you again next week. I'll see you later. Have a great rest of your day, and do not forget to stay empowered. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for taking the time to be a part of our community. Don't forget to check the show notes for the resources I shared in today's episode, and of course to connect with me on social. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at erika.vishkalis. You can also find me on Facebook at erikavishkalis. If you want to be a part of our online community, check out our Facebook group, Empowered with Erika. You can also find all of our offers and community links at empoweredwitherika.com. I always love hearing from you, so don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and tag me with your biggest takeaways from today's episode. Let me know what you loved and what you want to hear more about, and share it with someone who you think would love it too. I cannot wait to share more with you. I will see you next week, and don't forget to stay empowered.